Welcome back, crime fighters! You're watching Crime Fighting 101 with Caroline Dunn. On this episode, we're going to learn about the Lexington Police Air Support Unit and take a look inside the Lexington Police helicopter. Amy Graham, Lorraine, and I took a trip to the Bluegrass Field where the Air Support Unit is based. Our favorite retired police officer, Officer Don, gave us a tour of the unit and explained what exactly the choppers are all about.
And this helicopter is a 1969 model OH-58. That's the military designation. The civilian version is called a Jet Ranger. We got this from Fort Rucker, Alabama. If you come over here, you can see what it used to look like. We call that the dirty bird. You can see why. We used a paintbrush to paint it, a roller to paint the thing. Anyway, this one not so much. We got this helicopter from Fort Rucker about 6 years ago, and we obviously had to transfer it from a military helicopter to a police helicopter, which meant that we had to take the guns off. We don't need the .30 caliber and the Stinger missile head on it, and put some police equipment, which has included the night sun. That night sun right there is about 30 million candle power. It can light up a football field.
The night sun is used for patrolling parking lots and following suspects as they are attempting to escape.
We also have some equipment on board that I'm going to show you in a minute, like the FLIR that we use to help find bad guys at night. And then we had to put a whole array of police radios on the helicopter too, so we can talk to the units on the ground. Let's take you inside the cockpit and talk a little bit about the equipment that we have. There are two stations on the helicopter. The station on the right is for the pilot. The station on the left is for the tactical flight officer. The way it works is the pilot flies the helicopter and the tactical flight officer runs the mission. He's the one that talks to the guys on the ground, the guys and gals on the ground, while we're doing operations. He also observes what's happening in the FLIR unit. He brings to bear the night sun, the 30 million candle power light when necessary. He's the eyes and ears of the operation. So it's the pilot's job to keep the thing flying and to keep it safe. It's a tactical flight officer's job to make sure the mission is a success.
Officer Don mentioned a FLIR. The Lexington Police helicopter is fitted with a thermal imaging video camera system called a FLIR. FLIR, forward-looking infrared. This thermal imaging camera produces pictures based on the different heat sources of everything in its view. For example, a person's body heat is warmer than the environment around them. As a result, an image of a suspect shows up on the FLIR screen. The FLIR system has many valuable uses for the police department. For example, the FLIR can locate lost senior citizens by detecting their body heat. The FLIR is also valuable in detecting criminals taking off with vehicles. Everyone remembers the O.J. Simpson chase. You might be wondering, how do we pay for all this equipment?
We did all of this through drug dealers' money, asset forfeitures. The asset forfeiture is the monies that officers on the street and our narcotics cops get from drug dealers. This helicopter was not rebuilt on taxpayers' funds. It was built on the backs of the drug dealers. So we don't get to thank the drug dealers enough for their contribution. Ironically, we use this to catch a lot of drug dealers too. That's one of the operations the helicopter's used for, is to make sure the drug dealers don't get away when they try to run from us, and also some surveillance operations just before we bust them.
The Air Support Unit supports the officers on the ground and gives them an increased sense of security. The Air Support Unit also permits safer vehicle pursuit. The helicopter is able to cover large areas quickly, which is very helpful during searches. It can be said about the Lexington Police Department's Air Support Unit that their mission is the same as all police, only the vehicle has changed. Of course, Goose and Maverick had to take a seat inside the helicopter so we could get a sense of what it feels like to be in the Air Support Unit officer's shoes. And let me tell you, there are a lot of gadgets on that bird. Well, that's all for this time, folks. Stay tuned in for the next episode of Crime Fighting 101.